Donald Trump is not only in a physical decline, he is also in a mental decline. I have a psychological conspiracy theory that I'm going to go over, so just bear with me, give me a few minutes and let me nerd out. Have you ever heard the term, those who don't remember the past or those who don't remember history are doomed or fail to repeat it? Well, the way you remember that term is not the original intent of what the author of that term meant. Even though what we do now and say now and remember now still sounds correct. If you don't learn from the past, you will repeat it. But he was talking more of a cognitive, psychological, physiological assessment. Who am I talking about? That term is mostly identified with George Santayana or Jorge Agustin Nicolas Ruiz de Santayana y Borges. Let's just go with George. And in these 5 volumes, he covered things like the reason in life, the reason in science, the reason in politics, things like that. It's a philosophical book, which is considered one of the greatest books written as far as prose in the early 20th century. And in one of those reasons, he talks about the cognitive abilities of man. And the actual quote is, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Words matter. There's a difference. If you don't learn from the past, you're doomed to repeat it, which is true, because if, think about World War I and World War II. We did not do the League of Nations for World War I, which could have prevented World War II. So we learned, and so the world came up with the United Nations. So if you don't learn from the past, yes, you're doomed to repeat it. But what he said was, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. And what does that mean? That means when you get older, your mind starts to lose memories that you learned from when you were younger. And because you lost those memories, you are condemned. You are destined. You will repeat them. You know I love primary sources, so I'm going to go right to him to explain what he means and what I'm talking about. Progress, far from consisting in change, depends on retentiveness. When change is absolute, there remains no being to improve and no direction is set for possible improvement. And when experience is not retained as among savages, infancy is perpetual. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. When you are a child, you learn certain things. And as you grow up, you may lose those things. So when you get older and your brain deteriorates, for the most part, you go back to that infancy stage. Let's keep going. In the first stage of life, the mind is frivolous and easily distracted. It misses progress by failing in consecutiveness and persistence. This is the condition of children and barbarians, in whom instinct has learned nothing from experience. I'm going to say the barbarian thing is from people that they think are uncivilized. But as a child, you know how it is. I have ADHD. I was diagnosed with ADHD at 35. As a child, I had it and didn't know it. My parents didn't know it. So when you're learning, you're easily distracted. And me having ADHD, I was even more distracted. Have you ever heard, my life would be a whole lot better if I knew then what I knew now? That's what he's talking about. Let's go to the second stage. In a second stage, men are docile to events, plastic to new habits and suggestions, yet able to graft them on original instincts, which thus bring to fuller satisfaction. This is the plane of manhood and true progress. What he's saying there is, once you get into your own, once you become a man or once you become an adult to where you can pick up on things and you know what? I know what this is. I know where this comes from. I know how to do this. And you're able to move. That's when you have true progress. That's when you're in your healthy stage. You're moving and shaking and you can make things happen. That's why they say men don't reach their financial stride until they hit about 45 to 55. Because now they know, hey, I've been through a lot of mistakes in the past and now I know how to move better. In the final stage, and this is where Trump comes in. Last comes a stage when retentiveness is exhausted and all that happens is at once forgotten. A vain, because unpractical repetition of the past takes the place of plasticity and fertile readaptation. In a moving world, readaptation is the price of longevity. The hard shell, far from protecting the vital principle, condemns it to die down slowly and be gradually chilled. Immortality in such a case must have been secured earlier by giving birth to a generation plastic to the contemporary world and able to retain its lessons. Thus, old age is as forgetful as youth and more incorrigible. It displays the same inattentiveness to conditions. Its memory becomes self-repeating and degenerates into an instinctive reaction like a bird's chirp. I mean, for this being long, that was a long third phase, but it all plans out. It all works out. Just let me cook. This is where Trump is. Trump is in his third stage. And what is he referring back to? His real estate prowess. Now, the man was bankrupt 6, 7 times. I get it. But all he knows is real estate and construction. So what is he reverting back to? Oh, we're having our 250th anniversary for America. Let me build the Arc de Trump. Hey, we need a ballroom. Let me tear down the East Wing. Hey, I like the White House Oval Office, but let's make it more gold. He is reverting back to what he knows. In addition to, his body is breaking down because he did not secure his longevity. So now he's had an alleged stroke. He now has a alleged catheter. He now has a heart monitor thing on his chest. He's going for semi-annual checkups every other month. How can you do that? And it's a semi-annual checkup. His body and his mind is reverting back to when it was a child, when it was an infant, which is also why he wears a diaper. And the powers that be, the people that are around him, remember what they used to say about Biden? Biden is in his basement. Those people, the auto pen and all this other stuff. If what Trump said about Biden is true, they are doing the same thing to Trump. Those people around him, the sycophants that are around him, knows he's reverted back to his childhood stage. Because every now and then, he shows cognitive awareness. But everybody talks about this sundowner syndrome and how he gets pissed off and angry in the afternoons because his body and mind is tired. That's what he's reverting back to. And like I said, everybody around him knows this. And they're using it to their advantage by making him do what he do best, which is make deals, which is the business deals that him and his sons are making, and doing construction. Hey, take your little old ass over there and do construction while we dismantle America. That's why he said nuclear option, because he don't know how to negotiate. And if he did, he's lost it. I know I went long. I know this is a long one, but this is my conspiracy theory. What do you think?